What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. And today we're talking the May 17, 2021 edition of Raw Talk. Coming off what I thought was honestly a slightly better than usual episode of Raw, which I know is saying absolutely nothing because Raw has been dog shit for the better part of 2021. But I thought this was a solid show. Taking the steps and hopefully rehabbing Raw, making it better. And I thought Raw Talk this week was solid as well. So as seen on Raw itself, one of the things I didn't like about the show was the reintroduction of the 24/7 Championship. R-Truth was seen walking backstage, trying to watch out for his surroundings when he was abruptly interviewed by Kevin Patrick, who I know hasn't been here too long. He even mentioned that he was going to be hosting Raw Talk later on in the night with R-Truth. Doesn't really get the memo, and that he really shouldn't be trying to talk to Truth while he's hiding from the superstars, or should I say superstar, and that Akira Tozawa was right around the corner. So Tozawa pinned R-Truth, became the 24/7 champion for the 9th time, 10th time, 20th time. Who gives a fuck at this point? Who gave a shit for the last 2 years, to be honest with you? When this whole thing first started, it was fun. This thing ran its course probably a year and a half ago. It's May of 2021. We are celebrating, quote-unquote celebrating, observing the 2-year anniversary of the debut of the 24/7 Championship on Thursday. How the fuck is this thing even still around, is my question. But anyway, Kevin Patrick, I like the storyline consistency here, because Truth, I'm pretty sure, has been coming out with the 24/7 Championship here on Raw Talk for the last couple of weeks since he returned, but he hasn't been on Raw itself for whatever reason, and I like R-Truth, but the title is so pointless. I'm glad it wasn't featured. Do not even bother wasting any TV time on this crap. But I did like the storyline consistency here, in that Kevin had to apologize to Truth to kick off the show for costing him, essentially, the 24/7 Championship. And Truth was not accepting his apology, wouldn't shake his hand. He played it serious. This is probably the most serious I've seen R-Truth since he was heel a decade ago. So I thought that was funny. Kevin Patrick runs down the Raw results from the show before welcoming on the all-new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Natalya and Tamina. Natalya says it's been really overwhelming since they became champions back on Friday SmackDown, going on to beat Shayna and Nia in a rematch for those titles last night on Raw. And she also acknowledges that it's been over 4,000 days that Tamina has been in WWE and not been a champion. She debuted by attacking Natalya almost exactly 11 years ago. And aside from that pointless 20-minute reign as 24/7 champion almost 2 years ago for Tamina, which obviously no one is actually counting, I don't think, her first real championship run is happening right now. And as you guys have probably heard me talk about, I don't give a shit about Tamina. I think she's terrible. Good on her for getting her moment. Clearly it meant a lot to her. Natalya too, but Natalya's been a champion before. Divas champion, SmackDown Women's champion. So she's no stranger to gold in WWE. Tamina is. So I thought that was a cool moment for them to get their moment. And obviously, again, it meant a lot to them. They were emotional on Talking Smack. They were emotional here as well. And Tamina brings up how she was grateful for the fans and all this other stuff. And Natalya also brings up that TJ Wilson, her husband Tyson Kidd, showed her a picture. I don't know if it was before they won the titles or after they won the titles or at what point this was. I forgot what she said. But he showed her a picture of Owen Hart and Yokozuna as the tag team champions from 25 years ago at this point, which is crazy. But Natalya was representing the Hart family as Owen did. And Tamina was representing the Samoan dynasty as Tamina currently is. Or did I say Tamina initially? Tamina is currently representing the Samoan dynasty as Yokozuna did when he was one half of the tag team champions 25 years ago. Which is cool. I mean, again, I don't know if I would go that far. I don't know if that's an accurate comparison, but I can understand what they're going for there. Tamina also reflects on the fan support, again, grateful for the fans, blah, blah, blah. They also discuss being on Alexa's playground earlier on in the show on Raw. I like Alexa Bliss. I think she's doing a great job with the current character she has. A lot of this supernatural bullshit is not for me. I was digging the initial promo she was doing because I think she's very committed to the character. But that doesn't make all of what she does good. And I think the playground stuff, not a big fan. They also talk about Reginald being in Tamina's DMs and all this other shit. Who cares? The next person they welcome on, other than the Reginald shit and the Alexis Playground crap, I thought Natalya and Tamina were good here. And again, they came off, as it said on Talking Smack, as complete baby faces. So I'm not exactly sure when that turn happened, if it was on Friday or if I missed an episode of SmackDown, I don't know. But they're basically baby faces at this point. The next person they welcome on is Angel Garza, who beat Drew Gulak again for the second time in 2 weeks, 3 weeks on Raw this week. And he said that, or he was asked by Kevin, like, why would you do what you did in shoving a rose up, he didn't say this, but shoving a rose up Drew Gulak's ass 2 weeks ago, and then shoving a rose down his throat, hopefully not the same rose, shoving the rose down his throat this week. He doesn't really answer the question. He just says that he was taught by his uncles and dad and his entire family to be a man of his word. But again, my question is, why would you even say that you would do that in the first place? Not even the fact that he did it. Why would you even promise that you would do that to begin with, is the question. And he didn't really answer that. I guess he can't say because Vince told me to, but I assume that's the explanation. He knew when, upon waking up one day, that he needed more aggression upon going out to the ring, and that's what we're seeing now. And going forward, he promises, you're going to be seeing an all-new Angel Garza. So that was really about it from Angel. He wasn't there for very long. He speaks English very well, so I'm honestly surprised they kind of cut him short. But it's cool to see him getting more TV time. The guy was pulling main event duty for, 6 months? So it's a step in the right direction, if nothing else. The last people they welcome on are the New Day, specifically Kofi Kingston, coming off not one but 2 huge wins on Raw this week over Randy Orton at one point in the evening, and then the WWE Champion Bobby Lashley at the end of the evening. The Orton win was clean, I'm pretty sure. The Lashley win was not, but hey, still, he beat Bobby Lashley, the WWE Champion, in non-title action, and what's his name? And obviously Randy Orton earlier on in the show. So they come on, Kingston starts dancing on the table, which is great. He said that he started studying tape of R-Truth losing the Hurt Lock a bunch of times a number of months ago, and that was what helped him avoid the Hurt Lock on this show and helping him pull out the victory. He emphasizes that he beat the WWE Champion, not only getting an opportunity via the open challenge to face Lashley, but also beating Lashley. Also bringing up, how many times has Lashley been pinned since becoming WWE Champion? 0. No one has been able to beat Bobby Lashley, whether it be Strowman, Sheamus, McIntyre, nobody. Miz, he's beaten them all. But you even go back before then, and I said this on Twitter last night, I'm almost positive the only people to have pinned Lashley in the last year, since he really started on this dominant tear of his, are Riddle, who pinned Lashley in fluky fashion, I think at either the first episode of Raw the New Year or the next week on Legends Night, or maybe that was Legends Night when he beat Lashley in fluky fashion. They had a rematch the next week and Lashley won. But Riddle did pin Lashley 1-on-1 at one point. Before that, you would have to go all the way back, and that was back when Lashley was U.S. Champion, by the way, not WWE Champion. Before that, you would have to go all the way back to when he was feuding with McIntyre the first time, or at least the first time in WWE, last summer, when he beat him at Backlash. I think other than that, McIntyre, or rather Lashley, has not been pinned in the company at all in the last year. He kind of got back on track. He got beat by, I think, Aleister Black once at WrestleMania last year. But again, other than that, in the last 365 days, I'm almost positive the only person who have beaten McIntyre, or again, I keep saying McIntyre. McIntyre also hasn't really been pinned a lot either. The only person who have beaten Lashley is now Kingston. McIntyre, Riddle, and now Kingston, which is a big feather in the cap of Kofi Kingston. It's cool. He doesn't have to get ready because he stays ready, he says, and Xavier Woods kind of hypes him up saying this is nothing new. It's Kofi Kingston, former WWE champion, better recognized, blah, blah, blah. Kingston starts celebrating, doing a split on the table. They're freaking out. He starts humping the air, and R-Truth says they're going too far. And that was when New Day acknowledged that. He goes, Woods brings up, hey, didn't you and Miz attack people with lead pipes? Never forget. And then R-Truth just goes, the New Day rocks, completely moving on from it, changing the subject, which I thought was great. To think that was a decade ago, by the way, is crazy to me. That R-Truth was doing that heel Miz stuff with Awesome Truth and whatever. That is wild to me. A whole decade. That's crazy. But, yeah. So, Yeah, I don't know what I was getting at there, but yeah, they just had a great moment there at the end celebrating Kofi's win over Orton and Lashley. Kofi's really excited. Hey, celebrate now, my man, because come next week on Raw, I'm sure you're getting killed by Bobby in a WWE title match. You'll get your opportunity, I'm sure, but you're probably going to lose. So just prepare for that. But I thought this was a good episode of Raw Talk. I don't really care too much for Natalya and Tamina, as you guys know, but I thought they did a good job with what they had to say. Angel Garza was short, sweet, straight to the point, and then the New Day were entertaining as always. So good stuff this week, setting the stage for next week's Raw, with everything I assume is coming up on tap, with Kingston probably getting another opportunity at the WWE, or a WWE Championship opportunity in general. He hasn't had a one-on-one rematch for that championship since he lost it back to Brock Lesnar in October of 2019. So that should be cool. But yeah, that's about it, guys, for this Raw Talk review. Thanks for checking it out. As always, be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content, and hit the bell button to be notified every time a new video goes up. Have a great one, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.